Good evening, UC Bearcat fans. It's James Ernest and Mark Fightmaster of UC Bearcats on the prowl. Mark, what have those Bearcats been up to?
Well, now we get to talk about the 21st ranked UC Bearcats. They're climbing up in the polls. They went out and they beat Oklahoma State like you and I thought they would. Actually, they beat them by more than either of us probably thought they would. I didn't think they were going to cover that 23 and a half point spread, but they ended up winning 49 to 17. Um, and it's funny, James. I had a good friend. I got a text with a bunch of the guys I used to hang out and play softball with, and we talk all the time. And he was like, "Okay, what can you guys tell me about UC's offense? What can you tell me about Oklahoma State?" Because he wanted to bet it. He wanted to bet the 23 and a half. And I guess based on some of the stuff that I said, he's like, "Oh, I'm taking the bet." Well, they're middle of the fourth quarter, and it's only an 18-point lead, and I'm like, "Oh crap, man! What's going on?" And then McDoom made the interception, went 100 yards for a touchdown, that put him up and
Nice.
over. So that's what got him the win. I mean, it wasn't just that play. The stats. You can look at the stats and see why UC dominated that game.
Exactly. And it was all about the running game. I'm going to say it was more of that than the passing. I mean, they did an okay job, 270, can't go wrong there. But
Yeah.
that 157 yards and
Mhm.
three touchdowns. Oh, actually, no. What really did it, to be honest with you, is Cyrus Allen. Three
Mhm.
touchdowns by himself, getting a hat trick.
Yeah.
I know that's
Yeah.
a hockey term, but still, that should
Yeah.
be worth something. I know it's no Al
Yeah.
Bundy scoring four touchdowns in a game,
Yeah.
but still pretty
Tell you what,
impressive.
man, that kid had a game. I mean, he had a really good game. So just looking over the stats, I mean, the running game, like you said, 143 yards on 30 carries for the team. It was a good night. Evan Pryor with 63 yards on 9 carries, but 32 of them came on one play. So and the running game was good. I'd like to see it get a little better even as we go into the next stretch of games because we're now going down kind of the murderer's row part of the schedule.
Exactly.
And I think as we can take pressure off of Brandon Sorsby, it will allow him to play looser, and do better. But the thing is, it's not like he's doing horrible, right? I mean,
Oh
he's
no,
he's
he's
playing
still doing
solid
great.
football.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if
So,
he was wearing an Alabama jersey, if he was
mhm.
wearing a Notre Dame jersey, he would be in the
Yeah.
Heisman talk.
Right.
It's
Oh,
just
right.
where he
Yeah.
is. Yeah, that he's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. He's from Cincinnati, I mean, who really pays attention. We're a basketball school, right? Well, we're not even a basketball school, but, or we haven't been lately. So it's good to see all the things coming together, as far as the offense goes. The defense, I'd like to see him play a little better. Quite honestly, I mean, yeah, McDoom had the long touchdown, but a lot of that is, they gave up a lot of yards, in my opinion.
Oh, you're 100% right on
So,
that. Their
yeah.
philosophy is to give up yards. Their philosophy is
Mhm.
to bend and not break. But the problem
Yeah.
is that if you get a team that can keep it away from us too long, then that's how they're
Right.
going to beat us.
Right. Like if we're going to play bend, not break, and we've got Baylor next week. Is it next week? Yeah, next week.
Yep.
And then Utah, and then BYU down the road. Playing bend, not break with them is going to spell doom. I think they need to be a little bit more aggressive, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the next games go.
Exactly. I think the turnovers, like you said in this game, that interception was
Mm,
what caused to get the um, get the cover. And I think that's going to be very important in the, like you said, that strong schedule we have coming up.
yeah,
Obviously, this Saturday is the big game against Baylor at 4 o'clock. I'm
yeah.
thrilled. I love a 4 o'clock
Hmm.
start. I don't care for
Hmm.
12, and I don't really care for 8 o'clock. I like it right there in the
Right.
middle. And I
Right.
feel that's because the fans get more fun. They get to really
Hmm.
get riled up, but they don't get too riled up because at 8 o'clock start, 7 o'clock, you get a little too goofy
Yeah.
before the game. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of another thing that's a good thing is the fact that Royer is starting to contribute more consistently.
Yeah, what he ended up with like 65 yards
Mhm.
receiving, I think, somewhere in there. With I don't remember how many catches he had.
Five.
Five.
Five catches, one of them
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
touchdown, one of them 27 yards. So he's making big pops, but he's also making the little plays that are getting the first downs.
Right. And having a tight end that can get yardage the way he does, I mean, it helps the passing game, but it also, helps the running game because he can block, but he also kind of dekes them a little bit because if they do run pass option, he can go out and they would, trail him and it opens up a running lane for the running back. So he is a very key part of the offense, and not just because of how well he can catch the ball and run after the catch, but because of how well he can decoy and how well he blocks.
Exactly. He's one of those players that even when he's not on the stat sheet, he's still making big plays. I know sometimes we tend to fall in love with the stat sheet because we want to see the numbers on there. But you're right. He is contributing in so many other ways. Oh gosh, there was a fellow at Northern, Sam.
Hmm.
I forget whatever his last name was. But he
Yeah.
even in games where he wasn't scoring, he was doing other things, and that's what seems like
Hmm.
Royer's doing. He's doing those other things that have really helped the team. He,
Yeah.
being a blocking back, he's been able to help get them more yards on offense, and he's been able to reduce the number of sacks. And that's the crazy thing that was what the second sack this year in
Hmm.
seven games. There's only been two
Yeah,
sacks.
I think so.
Shoot, yeah,
I
if
think
someone
so.
would have told us that before the season started, who wouldn't
Man.
take that?
Yeah, and I tell you what, the offensive line does get a lot of credit for that, and Royer helps. But man, 3 weeks, the offensive line of the week in the Big 12, this group is doing better than I thought they would. And I'll just say the whole team's doing better than I thought they would. I'm pretty sure better than you thought they would.
You are correct.
Um, and so is it time to just say, hey, we were jumping the gun on Scott Satterfield last year, wanting to get rid of him or what? And we're not the only ones that wanted to get rid of him. Everybody, every UC fan wanted to get rid of him. But it's like, this is his third year, and we're maybe seeing what his plan truly was. And so I don't know. I mean, he's on the watch list for Coach of the Year. So
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the problem with NCAA football and NFL football
mhm,
is that, yeah, if you are not winning right away, you
mhm,
become on that hot seat and too soon a lot of times. I mean,
yeah,
I know he did lose, gosh, 3 games this year and all that, so it's not exactly the
mhm,
best. But the Penn State coach, who has done
Jimmy
amazing for
Franklin, yeah,
them, yeah, they ran him
yeah,
out of town. Though, if they run him
yeah.
out of town, they'll run anybody out of town.
Well, and look no further than our last coach. Look up in Wisconsin. Luke Fickle his seat is like white hot, man. It is. I watched the benefit of having the UC game late at night was I could give my full attention to the Buckeyes during the day. And in the third quarter, the crowd is chanting "Fire Fickle." I mean, gosh, and it's hard and for him. And the thing about like up in Wisconsin, one of the problems is he's got such a high buyout
Mhm.
that financially they can't really afford to fire him because of
Exactly.
how much money they'd have to pay him and then how much that's going to take away from the NIL money.
Mhm.
And I think their athletic director like put out a thing on a post on Twitter or like an open letter on Facebook or
Yeah.
something to the fan groups. I think it was on Monday, either Sunday or Monday, talking about, hey, we really need to get behind this team and we need more of your money so we can compete.
Exactly.
I'm like, UC isn't making that much money from the Cincy Light beer to have turned into a competitor overnight. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's a good thing that what's going on up in Clifton. So,
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they're moving in the right direction. And
mhm,
like you said, that plan that, the first couple of years wasn't really showing off.
mhm,
And then, like we were talking about the line, I feel that the
mhm.
transfer portal is really where he solidified that line. So it would have been
It
hard to
is.
have really factored that in prior to the season because
Mhm.
how would we know what, a transfer is going to do?
Right, right. Like the kid from North Dakota.
Mhm.
I was hyped that we got him. It was great that we got him. I didn't know that he'd be playing as well as he has. I think I just think it's interesting to hear how the narrative has shifted in UC fans into, holy cow, look what Satterfield's done instead of, oh crap, look what Satterfield's done. I mean, it's the same sentence said two different ways, and now we're saying it in the positive manner instead of the negative. So,
Exactly. And I know the defense, gave up more points than we'd like, but
mhm.
they got some players that are quite consistent on there.
Oh yeah.
Ode is, I mean, doing a phenomenal
Hmm.
job for him.
Hmm. He is. McDoom is doing a really good job solidifying the back half of the defense. The back, he does a good job back there. He's not flashy like Sauce Gardner was, and I'm never going to
Yeah,
put him in that. Never going to put him in that category. But he's a really, really solid player back there. And take out the 100-yard interception return. He does a good job back there in coverage,
yeah. I
and
was
he's not
gonna say
afraid to
it.
step up and support the run.
Yeah, it's not fair to compare anybody to Sauce Gardner. I don't know if there's anybody in the NFL that, I mean, there may be one or two in the NFL that are in his category. He's just such
Yeah.
a phenomenal difference maker.
Hmm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, when
Yeah.
his peers are Dion and folks like
Hmm.
that yeah, it's
Yeah.
Champ Bailey, that's who you
Yep.
compare him to. You can't really compare him
Right.
to any of the current players. And I know we're
Hmm.
not a Bengals show, but that is the only spot that does kind of worry me, about this week's game, is the fact
Hmm.
that they at least be able to cover one of them, but then again, they got
Yeah.
plenty of weapons, so they're fine. So,
Yeah.
okay, so the Bearcats won again. They're bowl eligible, which is just insane to say
Yeah.
at this point in the
It's
season.
awesome.
Yep.
Hmm.
But of
Yeah. And,
course,
and so
when
now
you
it's,
get something, you want more, though.
yeah, right. And I want to see him keep it rolling against Baylor. And I think they've got a really good chance to. Baylor, um, their defense, I mean, let's look at the common opponent. The one common opponent I see is Oklahoma State, right? They beat Oklahoma State 45 to 27. They give up points. They gave up 42 to TCU, 35 to Kansas State, 27 to Arizona State, so it's
45 to
it,
SMU.
yeah, so they are the Bearcats are going to be able to score. Now the question is, can they stop the offense? Can they rein in what's his name here? Robertson, the quarterback. He's thrown for 2,376 yards and 21 touchdowns. So, it's he's going to really test the DBs.
Oh my God. That's just
Yeah.
this season?
Yeah, Sawyer Robertson. He's a senior. He has 2,376
Yeah.
yards, 21 touchdowns, seven interceptions. He is the 31st rated quarterback in the NCAA. But Sorsby is the sixth rated because his QBR is higher just because of
Exactly.
any number of different
The
things. But
percentages and yeah, and the lack of interceptions because Sorsby's got
mhm,
fewer interceptions.
mhm. So really, it's going to start and stop with holding the quarterback Robertson and his top receiver Cameron. What's his first name? Josh Cameron to just hold those two in check. Make them one dimensional. So that's something I've always heard coaches say is you need to make the other team one dimensional. So do we sell out to take out the run and then try and deal with the passing, or do we try and take out the passing and deal with the run? Um, I honestly think that this team can stop the pass against Baylor. I think there's going to be opportunities for sacks. I think there's going to be opportunities for turnovers. So I'm hoping that I'm not wrong. I'm hoping that we get a good defensive showing against their throwing game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the big thing to focus on is that passing attack. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bryson Washington has had a good season at rushing.
Mhm.
About 600 yards and six touchdowns.
Mhm.
So he's done a fair share of inflicting on the other team. But yeah,
Yeah.
Sawyer Robertson is truly
Mhm.
the person you got to watch out for.
Yeah. Well, and Washington, the running back, he has those stats have come with 113 carries, which is almost double what either UC running back has had, I think. Let me see.
That sounds right.
It
Yeah.
is it's definitely double what Pryor has had. So I just don't know. I can't pull up uh Tolly his stuff right now. But so he's more of the 3 yards in a cloud of dust style, which I think the defense can handle. So it's going to be an interesting it's going to be interesting to see what the game plan is defensively. I think in the end, the Bearcats will come out on top. I think according to ESPN, there's 67.5% win probability for the Bearcats. So yeah, it'll be fun.
I agree with them, and I agree with you. I think UC's definitely going to win. And yeah, I'd put it maybe even a little higher, more like 75%. I think unless
Yeah,
they do something to hurt themselves, they're going to win.
right. Right. And it looks like the over under is 66.5 points. So they expect some points to be scored here. So yeah, it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think with it being at home, a 4 o'clock start, a good day for football, a nice fall day. I think the crowd's going to be hyped up. It's going to be a great atmosphere. I think UC is going to pull it out.
And then I also believe it's a wear red day.
Yes, I think it is. I think it is. Yes. So yeah, so I think it'll be fun.
Well, sounds good. Oh, before we let anybody go, we got to cover two other sports quickly.
Yeah.
We, of course, want to mention the basketball, winning 100 to
Yep.
98 over Michigan and an
Yep.
exhibition.
Nice win.
I know no one's allowed to talk about exhibition games and the results because they barely show them anywhere. It's hard to find them.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what the heck is
Yeah.
the secret
Difficult.
about? Yeah, I don't know. They
Yeah.
is it the
Hey.
first rule of Fight Club, I guess, for exhibition?
Yeah. Yeah. For first rule of exhibition basketball, don't talk about exhibition basketball. I know Xavier wants that to be the case after they lost to Murray State or whoever it was.
Oh yeah, and then they definitely ain't gonna talk that up.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
shoot.
mm. No, but it's a good win. Good win over a quality Big Ten opponent. And yeah, it's exhibition basketball, but still, that team put up 100 points. I mean, when's the last time a UC team put up 100 points? So,
Exactly. Yeah, I'll take that any day. I mean,
yep.
yeah, and the shortened amount of time that the college guys get compared to the pros, yeah, scoring 100 is phenomenal.
Yep.
Usually, I
Yeah.
would
So,
say that
yeah.
their goal is 60 or 80, to have a good
Hmm.
score. But yeah, if you're getting that, getting 100, that's
Yeah.
great. And then, of
Yep.
course, we got to talk about the other UC sport. I know it's just the fall schedule, but we want to hear about them.
Yeah, the club lacrosse team. As I've said, like on the last couple of shows, my son is playing club lacrosse for UC, and this past week was the crosstown shootout against Xavier down at Victory Parkway against the University of Norwood. And the UC the lacrosse Bearcats won 11-4. Basically dominated the entire game. It wasn't even as close as the final score was, and that final score isn't close in lacrosse standards. So it was a pretty dominant performance. So they've got not this weekend, but they got a game Halloween weekend on the 2nd at UC against Miami. Don't know the game time yet, but they uh, they play right there on Gettler Field, right by the baseball stadium. So
Wow.
it's a nice little spot there for them to play. So and when I get the updated game time, I'll let everybody know. But it's a fun, fast-paced sport. UC's pretty darn good. So and when the fall turns into the spring season, because they'll just continue this on through the winter and probably do some indoor work. That's when the games start to count. That's when they have the rankings. And we were talking about before we came on the air last year, they finished with the number 12 ranking overall of like the 100 plus teams that play club lacrosse. So they're a good team to watch. So yeah, so they won the crosstown shootout. Screw Xavier. So
Sounds great. Well, for James Ernest and Mark Fightmaster, this has been UC Bearcats on the Prowl. We'll talk to you next week.